We are playing Mekknight Orcust versus Spright Yubel. Begin.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
What is this? Starting this off with an emergency teleport. We have Drew Swarm, which should not be too good against Sprites. Now let's look at our disruptions here. If you special summon, a lot of people forget about this. The Spright Sprint is another form of disruption. It's going to return a monster the opponent controls back to the hand. Red's going to negate. We have Carrot going to negate. So you have negate a monster, negate a spell or trap, spin a card back. And then we also have the double cross, which will take control or suck up a monster from either field or either graveyard. So with Harpy Feather Duster, we can at least wipe that out. And we have to deal with a max freaking C under all of that. We're going to chain Drew Swarm to the max C, so they draw one less card here. Banishing the Jet, not that they would have wanted to even summon that. Now you have turn player priority before they get to do anything to activate that Harpy Feather Duster. If you wait, if you set, you summon, you do something else, the Elf can reborn the Carrot, thus then negate your Harpy Feather Duster. So it's your choice to whip it out, get dusted, wipe out all that backer. We're gonna chain the double cross, taking control, sucking up the Drew Swarm. We're going to Elf, reborn the Carrot to negate another spell or trap card. Now, most people are not playing Mekknight, and you are not going to prepare for it. Thus, we have our Spirit Gates in the middle column, which no longer is there. It was actually helping us to special summon our Mekknight in that same column. But we could, in the same column as the Spright Elf, and what the heck was this? Roll the die. If this card sent to the graveyard, you could roll a 6-sided die. If you roll a 2, 3, 4, or 5, you rolled a 6. What the? You get to special summon this card back on the field. Huh? We're not even Mekknighting. We're going right into the Typhon. I don't know about you, but when I see my opponent summon Typhon, I just, I breathe a sigh of relief. I'm happy to see that. Okay, they're not going to special summon again for the rest of the turn. I'm guaranteed another turn. That's great. Wipe out that Typhon. That's it. You can't summon the Mekknight purples, and the driver is dead. Let's now speed this up. Let's go. Reborn the blue with the Elf, add the Jet. Do we have a Gamma Burst to boost up the field? Of course we do. From 6,000 damage, boost up to 13,000 damage. Wiping them out for game 1. Let's take this into game 2. All right, all right. All right, let's get Spright started. Starter into our red to kick this off. We got blue as the red will eat up a potential hand trap here. We chose to go second. We are a go second deck. We're main decking Raigeki. Let's freaking go. The Mekknights want to go second. Your Raigeki, wipe them up. We are sending an Angler from the deck, special summoning 2 Nimbles from the deck. Shokan into that gigantic Spright. This is the last opportunity to activate the Drew Swarm, if there were anything even banishable in the grave. Now, we're locked out of being able to summon it. We got the Elf, but it's not pointing to anywhere. You can't use a Sprint to summon an Elf the turn it's summoned. What you do is you turn the Sprint into a gigantic Spright to then be able to make room for the Elf. But if you keep the Sprint face up on the field, it's now a form of disruption. We do have a red in the graveyard for monster negate, Carrot spell and trap card negate. We could suck up a monster mate, and that's about our spin back, negate, negate. So 4 disruption to play through. We do have Raigeki, which the Carrot will be able to negate. How do we play around that Carrot? Evenly match. Should we Raigeki first, then evenly match, or should we evenly match, then Raigeki? Probably eat the Raigeki and then evenly match afterward. There you go. Raigeki with that Carrot negate, negate. And we're going to want to use the Elf to reborn our Spright red to be ready for a monster effect afterward. And now everything's going to get banished face down unless the crossout designator has an evenly match in their own deck to banish from the deck. Oh, wow, that thing's... what the heck is this? Holy moly. Evenly match. We're going to banish everything but 1 card on the field, declaring a triple tactics thrust. So you can't main phase 2 activate that, sure. Also thinning out our deck. We don't want to be drawing that. Now, everything but 1 card is going to be leaving up our Spright Elf. Had we waited on the Spright Elf... Wow, this thing's triggering again? What the heck? It keeps on... Oh, okay. It's everything that's not a 1 or 6, it gets reborn. If sent to the grave, 2, 3, 4, 5 reborn back onto the field. That is something. We We have Foolish Burial Goods sending the Rainbow Bridge of Salvation. Now, terraforming may have been banned, but the Foolish Burial Goods is another way to play terraforming to search for your field spell. We're going to special summon our Fenrir searching for our Unicorn, normal summon our Skeleton to now make the Galatea. We're now going to use Druid Swarm, banishing our own Skeleton from the graveyard to then use the Galatea to return it back into the deck, set up into the back row a Crescendo. Crescendo is going to be able to negate anything. Sorry, this ad is trying to snooze it. We now have Dingirsu. Dingirsu is here for a non-target send on the field. This is main phase 2, so we're not lethaling this turn. As we then make a second copy of our Galatea. Now, what did we accomplish? We could negate anything with the Crescendo. You activate a monster effect, we're going to be able to banish a card in your field face down. And do we have a quick way to reborn the Dingirsu? We do not. All right, let's go. But you lost everything. We evenly matched. We won based off of that. Back to lost control as we now win up this duel. Ischados. Oh my Jesus. We're going to grab a Unicorn from the deck with the Fenrir. Normal summon without tributing our Unicorn. Banish from the field and graveyard to summon our Stratos. And just like that, 8,100 damage for game. Taking this into game 3. A turn 2 deck. Now, many people believe that turn 2 is just automatically going to be much worse than anything that exists until we get something like Tenpai. Is Tenpai the true first viable turn 2 deck to exist in Yu-Gi-Oh? Begin. I do not know how to program. I am an owner of the site. We're going to set Kashtira Birth. So what happened is we won game 2. So the player who wants to go first chose for the turn 2 deck to go first. And yeah, they got a bunch of turn 2 cards in their hands. So they're scooping. Not scooping yet, that is. We're going to maxi chain to the emergency teleport. There's an idea I saw in a... If your deck can make a rank 4 Xyz, you make a Photon. Photon. What's the Photon Xyz? You make the rank 4 Photon, this one, Galaxy Photon Dragon, and then you search your deck for the hand trap that turns off the opponent's turn from dealing damage the entire turn. What card is that? It's like a little egg looking, this thing. So if you can make a rank 4 Xyz, you could search this, then on your opponent's turn, send it to the graveyard, pay 2,000 life, take no damage the entire turn, and then you get to then go second on your next turn, essentially. Like, as you could saw, we needed that right then and there. We need to turn off their turn. So it was the right call, making the go second deck to go first instead. You're out. You're out. Let's hop into another match. Opening of the Spirit Gates, mate. We're going to be grabbing the Dark Beckoning Beast. We do have our Gamma and Ash, but when do we use it? If we're waiting for them to summon a Phantom of Yubel, that may be trouble for us, but we could see from our own side, as we see their hand, there is no way for them to go into the Phantom of Yubel. Thus, we have the Gamma to negate and destroy that Yama. Completely dodging the Call by the Grave, by the way. That's great. Got Super Poly, Called By, and Nibiru. There's going to be pretty much just 2 disruptions. We're not counting the Called By. We're going to be setting up the Primitive Planet, grabbing the Vsauce Starfrost, activating our Wakashi, summoning itself onto the field with the Benki, searching for the Soul Piercer. Soul Piercer, equip onto a monster. If it leaves the field going to the graveyard, we're going to search our deck for a Super Heavy. As we now have our Scarecrow, we're going to finger that Soul Piercer. And is the card still limited to 1? Yes, it is. Limited to 1, no longer able to continually recycle the non-once per turn effect of searching your deck over and over. So what now? We're going to follow up with the Peaceful Planet to search for a Rhymeheart. Normal summon that Rhymeheart. Rhymeheart searching for the Meek. We're waiting for not only 5 summons, which we're now summoning our 5th summon right now. We're waiting for 2 monsters with the same attribute to then use Super Poly onto. Now, we could use it on these 2, but it may be better to wait for something better. 2 good monsters with the same attribute is we want to fuse them together. Reborn the Meek. You pop 1 ball, you summon 2. Just like that, Nibiruing up the entire field, tribute it all, which should be ending our turn, right? Oh, we're going to be summoning from the extra deck, Vicious Astral Loud. On summon, destroy a monster on the field, taking out that Nibiru. We're going to chain Super Polymerization, fusing the Nibiru and the token. Huh? Is that worth it? Okay. Making a Garura. We discard our Evenly Match as the Spirit Gates was blocking it from being used anyway. Sure. Wow. What a top deck, but we have an Ash Blossom to negate that Lotus. I don't think so. Negate. We do have a desperate play here. We could Garura swing into the Ashlau just to draw one. Nah, we ain't doing that. We're not going for that draw one play. Ain't no way. We're going to top deck the ability to search for a Mannadium card. Come to me, Rhymeheart. Rhymeheart on summon, searching for a Meek, and to battle we go. The Meek is, you can't summon it. You can't summon it because you have to control 1500 attack / 2100 defense. It should probably say a monster who's originally 1500 attack, but because of the field spell boosting you, it turns off your ball. No ball summon for you. Lord of Yama being triggered to reborn a fiend monster from the grave, as we also draw a card. So we're just gonna be blocking attack here, grabbing our Ash Blossom. What's really good with that Spirit Gates is we can continually, every turn, just discard a card, reborn the Lotus, attempting our play. Spirit Gates searching our deck for the Dark Beckoning Beast. Dark Beckoning searching for another Spirit Gates. Discard Spirit Gates. Look how ridiculous Spirit Gates is. I do think that if the ban list comes out tonight, maybe, that it's going to be limited to one. I think they're going for the Gates. We got the Spirit of Yubel setting up the Nightmare Pain. Pain pop in the Spirit to grab the Squirmer. Spirit summon from the deck Yubel. Squirmer special summon pop the Yubel. Summon a Terra Incarnate from the deck. We're going to now be making a Cross Sheep. Cross Sheep is going to be responding to our Fusion Summon, reborning our D-Lotus from the graveyard. Squirmer is going to banish to reborn from the grave our Spirit of Yubel. To battle we go. We have 3 attacks reflected onto that 3000 attack. For 3 attacks to be lethal, all you need is 2700 attack at least with that triple lethal reflection. Damn. Got the Motorbike, discarding to search our deck for a Wakashi. Setting up that Wakashi, activating to set up a Benki into our back row, searching for the Soul Piercer. Soul Piercer, equip onto Wakashi, send Wakashi for the Scarecrow. Banned in the TCG, by the way. Off the top of the deck, drawing an Ash Blossom late. Good job. Well, the Ash can at least try to negate the Max C. We have negate anything, plus a Borreload negate anything, plus Dispater could destroy a monster or negate it if the opponent has a banished card. We have Reframing, which is going to be able to negate anything. So we have 3 negate anythings plus a Dispater and Max C. Let's go. Setting up that Nightmare Throne. We're going to be destroying a Spirit from the deck to summon from the deck a Yubel. Now, this is incredibly scary because if I were the Super Heavy Samurai player and I saw them making this play, I'm thinking that they're trying to Super Poly my field. Once Yubel hits the field, we could turn player priority, activate Super Poly, fuse the entire field through the Reframing, and it could not even stop it. But we're letting it go through. We're not fearful of that Super Poly play. Reframing being used to negate Ash Blossom, so we will be drawing per special summon. Alrighty. And with the Masu Waru on the field, that's only 2 Yubel attacks per game. So we do have to be very careful of that. D-Lotus is going to attempt to summon for the deck. We're going to negate. We're now down to just the Dispater and Baron de Flor. 2 cards left for Disruption. There's no banished card. Nothing is banished. So the Dispater's not a negate. This means the Phantom of Yubel is pinning down the Baron de Flor from negating anything, and the Dispater can't protect the Baron de Flor unless something gets banished. We're in big trouble. We had all of these disruptions, and we're now gonna lose. Baron de Flor negate the Nightmare Pain. Phantom of Yubel says, no, I don't think so. We are going to negate the negate, and Dispater just being absolutely useless because we could not get any card banished. We're now going, just like that, what I say, 2 attacks, Masuwaru. Oh my gosh. No way, we just went into a deep discussion on if you don't have a hand trap or board breaker, you're gonna lose to any deck going first. How did Yubel still end up winning? Oh my gosh. Wow, 2-0. Game 1, we got Vaalmonica, Exo Sister. I am loving this. Hopefully this does well. Begin. We are going to use Cellatrice to search our deck for the Celta. Ash Blossom negating that Celta just like that. we would have been able to add actually the opponent would have been using the effect for you, right? Because if you do not have a Vaalmonica on your pendulum zone, your opponent chooses the effect, and the effect likely would have been chosen to draw 2 cards. Let's get to it. We're gonna use triple tactics talent, looking at that hand, returning a Nightmare Throne, a double throne, return 1 back on the deck, sure. We're gonna triple tactic thrust, set into the back row, the Vaalmonica followed Rhythm. Set an Imperm as we now follow up with the packs. Pack searching for Martha doesn't work because we have a non-Xyz on the field, which stops us from using the Martha play. It's gonna grab a Vadis instead. Now, what are our disruptions here? You can summon 2 Exorcister from the deck. If a card moves from either player's graveyard, they're both gonna turn into 2 different disruptions. We have Impermanence, and we also have the Vaalmonica followed, which will be able to destroy a back row or return a monster the opponent controls back to the hand. We have Negate, Spins, summon from the deck if you manipulate the grave. We got the Dark Beckoning Beast, Imperm, Negate. Now, we know from looking at their hand, they definitely have a Nightmare Throne and a D-Lotus, so we didn't want them to have the additional summon of the D-Lotus. We're going to be chaining the Vaalmonica followed Rhythm to destroy the field spell just like that. No search for you. Link this off into Almirage, which if you had Spirit Gates, only then, right now, with the Almirage on the field, because you now have the Dark Beckoning in the grave, could you discard D-Lotus to reborn it. So anyone asking, why play Almirage? That would be why if we had a Spirit Gates. We're going to be activating Exo-Sister, Vadis, summon from the deck, Martha and Elise. We're going to Xyz this into Mikalis. Mikalis will be able to banish any card on the field or in the graveyard. It could also search our deck for a spell or trap, grabbing the packs. We're now going to get banishing. We're banishing that face down Eternal Favorite. Now, I was talking about this at the start of the stream. Eternal Favorite, a good card, but it's not a board breaker. It's not a hand trap. And in this instance, we really wish it would have been a hand trap or board breaker. Even something like a Harpy Feather Duster would have been great. Wipe out that back row, then follow up with the Nightmare Throne. So you do have to think about that. When you want to make your deck cooler, you want to have more in-engine cards, that's the downside. Setting up with the Vaalmonica field spell, searching for our Celatrice. We have not committed to a normal summon yet until now. Celatrice searching for the Invitaire. Invitaire is going to invite the Pendulum monsters to your extra deck in hand. We have the Castapel, which is going to be detaching, searching for an Elise. Let's further Xyz this up into Magnifica. Magnifica is 5,600 damage here. We're going to pack, search our deck for a Martha, which will special summon itself onto the field since we have an Elise. And this is not enough. 56 plus 5 and 16. If we boosted, right? Oh, it is. It is. No, it's not enough. It's not enough. Oh, we do. Now we have enough. Celatrice for game. What the heck? Special summon Celatrice from the deck for game. Otherwise, we did not have lethal damage. Very well done. Let's hop into game 2. Vaalmonica Exo-Sister. All right, there is some synergy with the deck. I forgot. Oh, I remember. Your Vaalmonica monsters banish cards from your own graveyard, which trigger your Martha. So that's the synergy. Get Martha on the field, then use your own Vaalmonicas to banish cards from your own graveyard, and they start triggering. She starts triggering. Chaos Summoning Beast. Alongside that, we have our Grave Squirmer making our Lord of Yama. Lord of Yama is going to be negated by that Veiler, stopping them from searching for a Shavara. And we're not even using our Called by the Grave onto that Veiler. What are we holding our finger for? We have Squirmer banishing to summon from our hand a Yubel as we further link this up into a Soul of Rage. Now we're going to be returning from the graveyard back into the deck to summon our Royal Phantom of Yubel. We have Link with a special summon, plus Lil Knight. We have Imperm, we have the Call by the Grave, we have Phantom of Yubel. We have about 6 disruptions to play through. Let's go. Off the top of the deck, we have Angelo, discard a card to set up our Pendulum Scales. We have Versailles, which is going to be sending a Vaalmonica card from the deck to the graveyard, getting the Celatrice into the graveyard. We have Call by the Grave, fingering the Celatrice, stopping her from adding back to the hand. I do not think so. We're now down to 5 disruptions left. And as you can see from their hand, they really don't have much. We do have Vadis. If they attempt to move a card from the graveyard, what would be a good way to stop this? I guess they activate Spirit Gates, you would chain the Vadis. If they activate Grave Squirmer, you chain Vadis. We're going to chain Vadis now, but we're not moving a card from the graveyard. Oh, we are. doing this in the wrong order. You want to Call by the Grave on the lower chain link, and then Vadis on the higher chain link, summon a Martha, and then the Call by the Grave will trigger the Martha. Otherwise, we're fingering D-Lotus and then summoning the monsters afterward. I like to think of chains as a stack. You're stacking effects, and then you unstack it to resolve it. So finger on the lower, summon on the higher, they get summoned, then the finger happens, we just end our turn, your Vadis monsters go back into the deck they go. Off the top of the deck, we have a field spell here into our Celatrice. Celatrice animation every time she's summoned. Celatrice activating into a Phantom of Yubel, negating. We did have a Call by the Grave earlier to help stop something like a Phantom of Yubel, which we had to use onto the D-Lotus. Spirit of Yubel, summon a Yubel. We don't have a Nightmare Pain, so we're not forcing them to attack. We're going to add back the Celatrice so we can Pendulum summon it back onto the field. But with that, what are we doing? We're going to Soul of Rage, link off with the Celatrice into a Little Knight. Little Knight on summon, banish a card on field or in grave, getting rid of the Dimino. Now back to us. Can we finish up this duel, taking this into a game 3? Muckraker. Muckraker is going to be reborning our Spirit of Yubel to set up a Nightmare Pain. Come to us. Activate, pop the Spirit, which will trigger the field spell if we wanted to, which we're going to do. Yup, we're going to grab the Grave Squirmer, Spirit Summon, also triggering Yama to reborn the Soul of Rage. We're going to have a Terra Incarnate, a Yubel, and a Soul of Rage on the field off of that one pop. We got some battle damage reflecting, 1600 battle damage reflect, 1800 to the face. We're not able to lethal this field, ain't no way. The Muckraker is not usable for a Link summon, the turn it summon. We're gonna Squirmer, special summon to just, we're gonna get rid of the Grave Squirmer off of that Yubel. It tried to destroy itself, then we use the Muckraker to instead tribute. Martha off the top of the deck. We have Phantom of Yubel negating that Martha from summoning an Elise from the deck. Now we're gonna have to normal summon it, which the Soul Rage cannot interact with, but it does not matter. Taking this into game 3. There's no game 3 for May and Stardust. I don't know what happened. That was it.